David Wurmser, thank you for joining us. First, talk to us about Israel's strategic position before the Hamas terror attack on October 7th. They were making peace with a few Arab nations before that point.
Yeah, there were very serious talks underway with Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords are a peace treaty between Israel, the UAE, Bahrain, and another two or three other Arab nations. And Saudi Arabia was very interested in joining that, and there were very serious talks underway, largely because the interests of Saudi Arabia and Israel coincided. So it seemed like a natural. But then came the war last week. I still think those are likely in the future, in the near future, but this war was definitely an attempt to disrupt that.
And why would they want to disrupt that? Why would Hamas want to disrupt that? Talk to us about the motives here.
Well, I think one has to understand Hamas is the local extension of Iran's strategic reach. And Iran understands Saudi Arabian Israeli rapprochement and peace even really isolates Iran. There was talk of having a corridor of gas and oil flowing from the UAE through Saudi Arabia to Israel and from there to ports in Europe and so forth. Plus, it really strategically encircles Iran, and it creates a sort of strategic momentum on behalf of Israel and Saudi Arabia and the whole Western aligned coalition in the region. And Iran is threatened by that. And therefore, this was their way of trying to reverse the strategic momentum and to destroy that. But at the same time, one has to take Iran's ideology seriously. They want to destroy Israel. So they don't need any, although I think there was strategic considerations, they don't need a strategic reason. They need opportunity to strike Israel, and they saw one.
And so what has the Hamas attack done to Israel's strategic position in the Middle East now? Where do Israelis find themselves?
Well, that's a great question. You know, the Israelis really pride themselves on being independent, self-reliant, strong, and a growing nation, and really the future of the Middle East. And what's happened here is that the Israelis all of a sudden suffered a terrible blow. They look weak. They look like they were caught off guard, complacent, maybe even incompetent. And the criticisms of Hezbollah, which is an ally of Iran and Iran, that Israel's just a spider web, you pull a thread, the whole thing collapses, it's just a colonial artificial entity that's not viable, et cetera, et cetera. Well, obviously, in Western eyes, that's not the case. Certainly in the Middle East, there is a real question mark here, and Israel looks very weak, and really looks strategically under attack and on the defensive and retreating, because this was a terrible blow. So that's where Israel is right now. That's different from a week ago.
Given this, what does Israel's next move have to be?
Israel's next move is they have to reverse that. They have to reverse the strategic momentum and show that they are a strong country, that they can stand on their own two legs, they don't need anybody to fight for them, and deliver really a stunning, if not dramatic, victory that takes the war and turns it back onto Iran and makes the Iranian regime look weak, threatened, and teetering. So this is really, at its base now, a very dangerous strategic game that Iran has opened up with Israel, that Israel has to answer with a counter-strategic, really a truly geostrategic answer and victory on a level of such magnitude that it throws Iran back onto the defensive and shows the Iranian people, who are already in revolt against their regime, that the Iranian regime is under attack and may not last.
All right. David Wurmser, thank you so much.